Hello people, today we're going to do a diesel purge on a MK4 Golf that's got almost 250,000 miles on the clock, so hopefully it will prove fruitful, we'll see. To do this you're going to need a couple of things. First of all, obviously Liqui Moly Diesel Purge, about £8.50, £9 off eBay. You're also going to need a inline filter that's got a 8mm pipe coming on either end of it. You're also going to need some plastic tubing, preferably see-through tubing, also 8mm diameter. There's a reason for it being see-through and I'll tell you why in a minute. You're also going to need a clear bottle to put your Liqui Moly in. And you'll also need a pair of scissors and pliers. And a couple of 8mm diameter connectors. So, just a quick one on the clear tubing. There's a reason for this. One of the reasons is obviously to make sure you can see the diesel purge going through and you haven't got any air going into the engine. Another quite useful thing, especially on a PD engine such as this one, is it has a lift pump in the tank and also a pump on the engine that brings the fuel up. Now, it can happen where the lift pump on the fuel tank will break, but the pump on the engine will still have enough power to draw the fuel up from the fuel tank. So if you ever run out and then refill it up, there'll be air in your system and it won't have enough power, but you'll only find out when you've run out, so you'll be up Ship Street. This is quite a handy way of detecting if that's actually happened, and I'll show you why later. When you connect it on the engine, you'll be able to see if it's working or not, as to whether fuel goes through this pipe or not. So quite handy. The other thing I've done as well is cut some holes in the top of this bottle here, so that you can just easily thread them through and they'll stay there in position and won't move whilst you're doing the job. So, we'll head over to the engine bay now, and I'll show you what to do next. Right, okay. So we've got the engine bay here for an ASZ engine, a PD 130 engine. Got our supplies here, we've got our plastic tubing, we've got the Liqui Moly and the inline fuel filter there. What we have to do is connect this plastic tubing into the fuel lines here, using our connectors here. And we also connect in an inline fuel filter on the return line from the injectors to filter out any of the rubbish and whatnot coming back, hopefully. I guess we'll see. So, what we're going to have to do is disconnect the fuel lines here and hook up this plastic tubing. We'll see how that goes. And these got some as well. Sopping or bits in between. Right, so here we've cut up some of the plastic tubing. This bit here will go straight into the feed into the injectors, and that will go to the bottom of the bottle to get all the liquid. This here is from the leak off from the injectors and will return back into the bottle, go through the filter to filter out any rubbish, and will return back into the bottle. So any spare liquid not used up in the injectors will be recycled back into the bottle and used again until we've run it all. With the spare bit of tubing, what we need to do, once we've got these lines off here, is run a bit of tubing from this connector here, which is the return, onto this connector here, which is the feed line. And what this will do is recycle fuel coming in from the filter back into the filter, because the lift pump in the tank will continue to go whilst the engine's going, because obviously it thinks it's pumping fuel to the engine. It's not, because we're pumping diesel purge in instead. But as I said earlier in that other video, when we've got this connected on here, you should see fuel running through here, and this will let you know if the lift pump in the tank is working or not. Right, pause it again. Right, so what we need to do is take the feed and the return lines off. Right. Bring these clamps back up the line. And it's not being a cunt, that is.
I can believe that.
Right, so obviously these are going to piss out a bit of fuel when I pull these off to begin with. Hold these up here so don't lose too much. Not work them off. So, this one here is the feed, this one is the return. What we'll do for now, if you can grab them, thank you. I'll put these onto here, so that when the fuel pump in the tank is running, fuel will simply just recirculate back through the filter and back into the tank. And being the hillbilly rag that I am, I'm going to use cable ties instead of actual clips because I haven't got any actual Jubilee clips. But these will suffice for this, I think. The other clip.
Oh no, top of it.
Top of the end.
Yeah, you got it.
Yeah, nice and tight. So when the engine starts, fuel should just run through this continuously so we don't piss fuel everywhere. Next, what we need to do is put our diesel purge into our clear plastic bottle. So it just goes in here. So that's that in there. And then what I'm going to do is thread this into here, tie that on there, and just make sure that that tube is down to the very bottom there so that we get all the fuel, all the diesel purge. Yeah, here's our setup. This is the feed line at the bottom, goes into the feed hose here. This is the return line, it will filter any crap through and go back into the bottle to be reused. In theory, we'll see how this actually turns out. So, next process is start the engine.
I'll hold the bottle so that it's not. It's alright, otherwise you won't get you.
Still recording. So, as we can see here, we've got fuel coming back from the return line through the filter. We've got fuel going from the bottle in the feed pipe to the engine. Now with this running through the engine, what we need to do are a couple of different revolutions on the engine for a couple of minutes at a time to try and clear the injectors through.
A little bit. Definitely looking darker, isn't it?
Yeah, there's definitely a bit of there. Record it on yours.
Yeah, I've just recorded a little bit.
Yeah. I just realised I need my phone back on.
So it's definitely looking like it's collected a bit more.
Yeah. Going to the filter a bit. So I don't know if you can see it on the video, but we have got some particles caught in the filter here. I'm going to rev it again up to about 2,500–3,000 revs for a moment. Try and get some more rubbish from the injectors filtered out. As you can see here, the return line's returning fuel back. Should take about 15 minutes doing this to use up this whole bottle. This is from a 500ml can of diesel purge. You can get bigger ones, it'll take you about half an hour to do, but we'll see how we go.
that's definitely collected stuff now, look. You look at the filter now.
Yeah, so...
You see all the... Well, it's not very good on the camera, but...
No.
You look at all the...
If you can't see it on the video, that filter is definitely progressively getting dirtier and dirtier.
Yeah, it's definitely doing something.
I think we've got a slight leak on the line at the moment. I can't believe how dirty that's got already. I was expecting it to maybe be slightly dirty by the end, but... Yeah, why not?
Your bottle's getting a bit warm.
Yeah, it will be.
I'm just going to try and get it tipped over to where the bottom of the pipe is now. Yeah. I mean, if you look at the filter now, it's filthy. If you look at that,
that is this,
that's better, yeah. You can actually see that better on camera now as well. Up.
I'm just going to try and push this in a bit more so it's not creating as much like splash as it goes in.
I mean, that filter's definitely...
Yeah, so, you got it on video.
Yeah.
You should be able to see the filter now is getting fairly dirty. It was a nice bright kind of orange colour to begin with. Now it's looking pretty mucky. I mean, I was expecting it to be quite mucky. This engine has done almost 250,000 miles. As far as I'm aware, nothing's ever been done to the injectors. You can see there, fuel pumping through nicely on the return line, looking very mucky in there. Still a bit of diesel purge left that we're going through. We're just cycling it through various revs so far. See how it turns out at the end. Nice and warm. Good way of warming up your hands, I guess. I can't believe how many bubbles going through that. Then again, I would imagine most of that.
Yeah, probably. You nearly are now. I'm going to have to stop recording so I can just see for a minute.
Right, so we're now almost at 0 liquid. The filter is absolutely ditched. So now what we're going to do is cut the engine, pour what's left of the diesel purge into the fuel, reconnect the fuel lines. Right, so diesel purge has now been done. We're just hooking the fuel lines back on. So there we go, the fuel lines are all hooked back up to the filter. Just while I'm looking at the filter, I'll just quickly tell you really should do this when you've changed the filter, because there's no point in doing this with a dirty filter and then just putting crap back through your injectors. It's ideal to do this when you've done a service or something and you've got a fresh fuel filter in there, because then what you can do is also put the remainder of the diesel purge back in the filter, instead of wasting any of it. I was going to put what was left of my diesel purge back in, however this is the result. And then if you can see that there, that was a lovely clear golden colour to begin with, and now it's absolutely filthy. And so is the filter. That was a lovely orange colour when I started, and that again is mucky as hell. So, very lovely. It's amazing that's come out some injectors, really. So all has gone well so far. We're going to take the car out for a quick spin now, make sure we've got any air out the lines, and I will report back as to how this has gone in a few weeks' time. As anything's improved or whatnot, we shall see.